Hey, Mama, and welcome back to For Moms, a Safe Space. I'm your host, Simone, a fellow mom, a friend, and a woman who's not afraid to talk about the real and sometimes difficult parts of life. Before we dive into today, I just want to say if you caught last week's episode about dating as a single mom, we talked about reclaiming your worth and trusting your instincts and remembering that you are allowed to want joy, love, and partnership again after motherhood. And you're allowed to want it even after a heartache. It was a very beautiful conversation about hope, about healing, and about allowing yourself to dream again. I also did a bonus episode specifically for Mother's Day, and it was just a pinned letter to mothers. And I just wanted to reflect on how it is being a mom and knowing that you are enough, you are perfect for your children, and you are doing an amazing job. And I hope that resonated well with a lot of you guys out there. Today, we're opening a different kind of conversation. One that is just as important, but often left unspoken. And that's co-parenting with an abuser. Because for many moms, before we even think about dating or rebuilding a future, we're first surviving a reality that demands strength we never thought we'd need. Today, we're speaking truth. We're protecting our peace, and we're reminding ourselves that you are not crazy, you are not weak, and you're absolutely not alone. This space is yours today, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's be honest. Co-parenting is hard in the best of circumstances. But when the person you're trying to co-parent with has emotionally, verbally, or even physically abused you, it's an entirely different experience. It's not just about schedules or football practice or school pickups. It's about survival. It's about constantly weighing your safety, your child's well-being, and your own emotional recovery every single day. But I want to say this to you, because maybe no one has ever said it to you. You didn't fail by having a child with someone who hurt you. You are not weak for needing to set boundaries. And you are not wrong for protecting your peace. This isn't a typical co-parenting situation. And it's okay if it doesn't look civil or easy like people expect. When you're co-parenting with someone who is a former abuser, you often live in a constant balancing act. You're trying to stay strong for your child, but you're also trying to manage your own triggers behind the scenes. I want to add in a quote that my girlfriend sent me. She said, co-parenting with an abuser is like working at a job you hate. And I know a lot of people out there can relate to that. But you're in a contract with them, and you got to be on time and remain professional for 18 years. You got to pretend to be nice to someone who robbed you of your soul and heart just to keep the kids happy and intact. You got to remain strictly business. You might find yourself second guessing every decision. Am I doing enough? Am I protecting them enough? Am I being unfair? You might also be dealing with the outside pressure from family, courts, or friends. People who just don't understand what's really happening because it's not their reality that they're living. And that pressure, it can sometimes make you feel isolated. Like you're carrying this huge invisible burden that no one else can see. From the outside looking in, it can appear like two parents who just can't get along. But you know the truth. And the truth is valid. You see, you're not just dealing with a difficult ex. You're dealing with someone who has already shown you they can weaponize your emotions, your vulnerabilities, and even your child against you. And yet, you're still standing. You're still showing up. You're still protecting your child. You're still choosing protection and love every single day. There is nothing weak about surviving something people can't even imagine. And there's nothing wrong with doing what you need to do to keep yourself and your baby safe. So I actually want to pause right here, and I want to share a story that one of my listeners sent in, because I think it captures this reality in a beautiful way, and it's very honest. She said, as moms, we sometimes hope for the perfect family picture. Mom, dad under the same roof with the children. However, that doesn't always work out like that. When I met my daughter's father, I didn't necessarily want a child, but that's what unprotected sex led me to. From the trauma I endured as a child, not knowing my father, I was just comfortable with knowing who my child's father was. Little did I know that was his way of controlling me. I endured constant abuse throughout my pregnancy, of which I didn't take lightly. I fought back. After my daughter was born, I knew that wasn't a life I wanted my daughter to grow up in, so I low-key planned my escape. A little after my daughter was 2, I left in the middle of the night with a tote of clothes and my baby. Over the next 10 years, he pulled every tactic known to man to try and control me. The main tactic was keeping my daughter longer than agreed upon on the custody order. A little piece of advice I would give to another mom who is or may endure this. Follow your custody orders to the T. Anything that doesn't go as follow, bring the course up to speed of what's happening. But the question is, how do you successfully co-parent with your abuser? So first off, I'd like to say thank you so much, Jasmine, for sharing your story with us. You're very brave, and your honesty in this was so powerful. And I know that there are so many other moms that are listening right now that may feel a little less alone because of your words. It's stories like these that remind us why it's so important to rethink the way we measure success in co-parenting, especially when you're navigating it with someone who's caused you harm. When you're co-parenting with someone who has hurt you, it's not about winning battles or proving points. It's about staying grounded in your own healing and not letting old wounds keep reopening. So I want to shift to some real and practical tools, things I think that you can lean on to help protect your peace, even when the situation around you is not peaceful. And I hope this answers your question, Jasmine. When you're co-parenting with someone who has hurt you, protecting your peace isn't optional. It's survival. It's the foundation you stand on to keep showing up, to keep loving your child, and to keep reclaiming your life. Boundaries are not being mean or holding a grudge. Boundaries are not optional. They're essential. Because they're about protecting your mental health and your emotional safety. You get to decide the communication you'll allow and won't allow. You don't owe endless explanations. You don't owe constant availability. And it's okay if your boundaries look different than other people's, because you're in a different situation and it's okay to protect yourself. So what can you do? You still have to communicate. You still have to talk to this person. You could try a communication through a parenting app, which is something that the courts offer. Only discuss child-related matters. That means don't talk about other drama. Don't talk about your past drama with this person. Don't bring up your emotions with this person. Don't discuss your personal life with this person. Discuss child-related matters only. Try to have specific drop off and pick up protocols to avoid unnecessary interactions. And understand you don't have to apologize for these boundaries. They're not walls, they are doors you control. In traditional co parenting, parents may attend events together, graduations, honor ceremonies, different sporting events. They may chat at drop offs or make joint decisions together. But for you, this may not be safe or realistic, and that's okay because there's something called parallel parenting. Parallel parenting is when each parent handles their own household and minimizes direct communication as much as possible. Each parent does what they need to do separately with limited interaction. And this way, it helps you to stay focused on logistics and not relationships. It might feel cold compared to what people expect healthy co-parenting to look like, but remember, your situation is different. Your job isn't to perform peace for the outside world. Your job is to create real safety for you and your child, even if it looks very structured and distant. As Jasmine said in her story, document. Documentation isn't drama, it's protection. If your co-parent has a history of manipulation, gaslighting, or legal threats, documentation is key. Keep records of communication. Save text messages, emails, anything that could protect you down the line if needed. But if you use parenting apps, the interactions are automatically logged. And understand this is not because you want conflict, but because you are wise enough to prepare for it. Documentation gives you something solid to stand on when emotions get twisted or stories get rewritten. It's not petty. It's smart. It's safety. You are not just a co-parent. Your healing comes first without guilt. You are a whole human being who deserves healing, rest, support, and love. It's okay to invest in therapy. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. You'd be surprised how helpful therapy can be. I would know. I went to therapy. And I went to therapy for a specific situation that occurred in my life. However, therapy helped me all around. In different relationships that I have, therapy helped me. It's okay to join support groups. It's nothing wrong with finding your community of people who have gone through the same things. You can learn from them. And that's what I hope that this space does. It helps other moms learn from other moms. It's okay to prioritize your emotional recovery without feeling guilty about it. Because you cannot pour into your child's life if your own heart is running on empty. Choosing your healing is still choosing them. And healing doesn't mean pretending the pain never happened. Healing means that you learn to carry your story differently, with more peace, more wisdom, and less shame. Now, for me, I never really experienced a full-on co-parenting relationship with my children's father because him and I we didn't get along. So there were stretches where we didn't speak to each other at all. Like, he knew I was okay. I knew he was okay. He knew our child was okay, but we wouldn't speak to each other. I would only reach out to him if it was something like really important that I felt he needed to know, because otherwise it would result in us bickering back and forth. So I wouldn't say that I necessarily set boundaries, but we were just young and immature and could not act as adults to successfully co-parent together. Now we're under the same roof with our children. And yeah, we live together, but there still is that co-parenting thing that him and I have. We think differently in certain situations when it comes to our sons, and that's okay. That's okay. And again, every co-parenting situation is going to look different. While you may get along with your person, the next person may not. And everyone is living their own reality. So what do you do when it still feels heavy? You can do everything right. You can set your boundaries, you can limit your contact, protect your child, and still feel exhausted, still feel grief, still feel moments of doubt. And that's normal. Co-parenting with someone who harmed you brings up old wounds over and over again. It can feel isolating, like you're still carrying their actions even long after you left. But you're allowed to feel that weight. You're allowed to name the pain. And you're allowed to prioritize your healing, even if other people don't understand the depth of what you're carrying. You're doing incredible work. Work that no one can see from the outside. But I see you. And more importantly, you're still standing. That is your power. So I want you to repeat after me. I define success on my own terms. I choose peace over perfection. I honor the life I'm building, even when it's hard. I am already enough. One of the most powerful things you can do when co-parenting with someone who harmed you is rewrite the definition of success on your own terms. Because let's be honest, success isn't going to look like Instagram perfect family blending. It's not going to look like smiling holiday photos together or warm co-parenting brunches. And that's okay. And that's okay. Your story gets to be different. Your success gets to be different. And maybe your success looks like going a whole week without feeling emotionally drained after a handoff. Maintaining strong, healthy boundaries without slipping back into old patterns. Making sure that you protect your child's peace even when the other parent chooses chaos. Being able to say no to unnecessary communication and not feeling guilty afterward. And finally, showing up for yourself. Choosing rest, choosing therapy, or community support when you need it. Because success in this situation is about preserving your energy, modeling your self-respect, and creating emotional safety for yourself and your child. Understand this. Over time, those small victories, they add up. They become a life built on self-trust, resilience, and quiet strength. You're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for peace, for freedom, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You are breaking cycles, even if it doesn't look glamorous. You're showing your child what it means to choose yourself without apology. And that is a success story worth telling. So, mama, if you're navigating co-parenting with someone who hurt you, I hope today reminded you that you are powerful beyond measure. Not because you're pretending everything's fine, but because you're choosing yourself and your child day after day, even when it's hard. You are brave, you are wise, you are worthy of healing, safety, and love. And you are not alone. If you'd like to share a story with me, even anonymously, I would love to hear from you. You can email me at formomsasafespace@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram, because here your story matters. We're keeping it honest, we're keeping it real, but you deserve a space where you don't have to pretend it's easier than it is. So take care of your heart. Protect your peace. You're not just surviving. You're building a future where both you and your children can thrive. This is For Moms, a Safe Space, and you belong here.